All right. Hopefully, y'all can hear me in the live session. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Hello. All right. So let me see if I can see myself as well from my end here, so I can say hi to all of you if you drop a message. Hello. Yes. Welcome to our live session today. Today is 15th of July, so we are officially kind of like halfway through the month. There's 31 days for July, yeah. But yes, halfway through the month, so time is indeed fleeting when, you know, we are in the examination season. But in general, time is fleeting. So I feel like it's good that we all make the most of our time here on earth by making sure we learn as much as we can and we use this learning to, connect well with other people. And that's why we are here today to improve our English language abilities. So, yes, welcome to the live session, all of you. Feel free to share the live session with your friends and we can do the live session together. You can learn together as well. And for today, we are going to go through paper 2 questions. And of course, as promised, I will continue discussing oral as well. Hi, Ozil. Ozil! I was meaning to ask you, when is your oral? Welcome to you. Because you're taking O levels, right? Yes, yes, yes. Welcome, welcome. We are officially also actually on day 2 of O level. What's the question for the PM session today? Yes. Yes, yes, yes. We have a very important question. Oh, yours is Friday. Oh my goodness. The revision of our staff's house. Yes, Ozil. Are you updated of the questions coming out? You're our insider. Yes, yes, yes. Also, like teacher wear glasses. Hi. I love Elmo. Yes, I am a four-eyed monster. It's just that you don't see me wear glasses every day because I wear the contact lenses. Today, my eyes are heavy, so I need to wear the glasses instead. Yes. Ozil, are the questions different for AM and PM session for today in O level oral? That's one thing we would like to clarify from you. Okay. So yes, another day, another paper to revision, and another oral. I think so. You also don't know, is it? My goodness gracious. Because we do have, if you noticed, actually, everyone, we have posted the AM session questions. Thank you so much to our Righteous at Work students who have shared your O level questions with us. We do, however, I'll cry. I need an insider. Yes, people, because we would love to share the information because some of you are actually still revising, trying to predict what's upcoming for the days. And at the same time, some of the non O level students are waiting for their turn and are revising early as well. So, um, teacher jacket falling down. It's on purpose, Elmo, because I'm cold. So I just make sure the jacket is covering my sleeves. Yeah, so it's like this. Ayo. Yes, everyone. So um that is why we're looking for information, Ozil. But yours is Friday, is it? Okay. Thank you to those of you who are sharing the live, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And yes, people, do we have any secondary students out there who's taken the examination today for oral? Hello, hello, hello. Please do share the questions with us. We would love to share them out to those who are still revising and, help more students to revise. Okay. One quick announcement to all of you. We'll do paper 2 revision very quick, just very quick touch on paper 2, and then we'll do another oral discussion. So far, for example, because I want to target both PSLE students and those who are also revising for O level still, it will be good to continue building your content knowledge on some of the topics that are not actually discussed yet for day 1 and day 2. Okay, so we'll be good. Hello, I love Megumi and Gojo. Jojo. Hi to you. Welcome. So, one quick announcement to all of you, to those of you who are not aware yet, Writers at Work here, we are running a promotion for our comprehensive English programs and pure composition writing programs. If you sign up for 12 lessons, you're getting 2 free lessons. Especially, we understand that now you are in the examination mode. You want a more targeted practice. You want to revise with an expert. You can join us for regular classes, 12 plus 2. So that 2 free lessons will save you over what, or around $400, because you also don't need to pay the registration fee. Yes, 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 yes. So everyone, let's start off with this paper. Yesterday we did a few practices on, if you recall, we practiced on grammar and vocabulary. So this time around, let's try to do editing first, comprehension close, and then synthesis and transformation. Test your abilities to, ability to correct grammatical errors and spelling errors as well, and whether you know which one is which, right? So let's start. Not this one. Why am I with this one? There's another paper. This one. Let's do this. Let's do this. Okay. Okay. Mission is cooked. Okay. Now, everyone, let's get this started, people. Feel free to drop in your answer if you know. If you're not sure, it's also okay. It's a safe space for you to try. Okay? Now, Kim woke up in the morning listening to the birds and bugs. Wow. What a good morning. He walked to school admiring flowers and trees and mountains and breath in fresh air. Now, obviously, breath here is spelled correctly. So this is a grammatical error on word form. Who wants to give this one? Dora the Explorer. So many of you giving the answer, but you're all giving me the wrong answer. Be careful. Okay, you're being tested in word form. Now, Dora goes for breathe. And then Ozil agreed. Again, I want you both to reconsider your answer. Read the sentence again, and I need you to parallelize it. Like, there's a parallelism that we need to do here. Look at it again. He walked to school, admiring flowers and trees and mountains, and what? I need you all to go back very quickly and match the word form of the other verb that has just been mentioned. Everyone, what do you think? Lika said brief no as well. I need you all to try one more time. He is admiring flowers and trees on the mountains. And what? Yes. Thank you. Thank you. That's correct. ING. Breathing in fresh air. Be very careful with this, yeah. Same thing. This train of thought and concept is also may be appearing in comprehension close as well. Read the sentence and make sure your verbs are parallel. They are in the same form, right? Breathing fresh air. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Good job. During the COVID-19 pandemic, a student from the Korean city transferred to a rural school. Transfer. Dora the Explorer went on to say transferred. You want to do past tense and you double the R. Do you guys want to agree with Dora's answer, or you want to give a different one? 5 seconds. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. What do you mean eating fresh air, Ozil? So everyone, do we have an answer? Dora in I said eating fresh air, is it? Very good, Nat. Yes, Nat and Dora. Indeed, this is we need to correct the tense here, and this has to be past tense. Okay, so double R Good job. So grammatical error on tense. Okay. Transferred is double R. How? Zil. Okay. Having attend online classes of the whole previous year, Kim's mother said, having attend online classes. Now, when you have has, have, and had, do you recall what is the form of the word? Okay. Remember, has, have, and had is followed by what form? Very good. You follow it with past participle, right? That's why you say had taken, has spoken, have run, have gone, you know? So having attended. The past participle of attend is attended. Good job. Another grammatical error. Now, even if the children could go to school, even if the children could go to school for the first time in a long time, they couldn't talk freely to friends. Thus, she opting to have her son study in the countryside. She opting to have her son study in the countryside. Opting is obviously spelled correctly, so this is a grammatical error, wrong word form. What do you think is the correct word? She. Remember, hello Eisen, welcome to you. Remember, if you notice so far in the whole passage that we have read so far, the general tense is what? The general tense being used is past. That might be helpful for you to check as you go through the passage, so it does help you with some of the grammatical errors that you need to correct. Because for this case, we need the past tense, opted. Okay? Now, she opted to have her son study in the countryside where he could roam around and be intrigued by nature. Intrigued is spelled wrongly. Okay, this is a spelling error. Do you know how to spell the word intrigued? Now, keep the word form. Yeah, this is a spelling error, so don't change the word form. You're not correcting the grammar. Okay, so intrigued here is the wrong spelling is in past tense. Correct the spelling for me, but also still give me the past tense. Okay, so you added a one additional letter, Ozil and Eisen. You both added the letter U. Very interesting. But you are both indeed correct. That's how you spell the word. Intrigued. G-U-E-D. Good job. Now, many students in the city had also chosen to study in rural schools. They look forward to learning in a natural environment, savoring seasonal food, and building relationship with our with what new classmate? This one's pretty straightforward. You know the answer to this. You are talking about many students. So you're talking about third person point of view. So with what? You don't say our, you are not part of it. As the speaker, you are not doing we, you're doing they. So you say with their new classmates. Very good. Good job, Rena Eisen. Let's move on. It took a while for Kim to agree to give the experience. Sorry, I thought I was using a highlighter. Okay, it took a while for Kim to agree to give the experience a try. Experience, how to spell this? You know, this is an easy one. Spelling of experience, please. Let's go. 5 seconds. Very good, very good, very good. Experience. And move to the village. Believe it or not. Now he has applied to stay in the countryside. Believe it or not, okay? Now, the funny thing about this is that believe is spelled wrongly, but this is not a spelling error, huh? Okay, let me tell you first. This should be believe it or not, okay? So this is not a spelling error. This is a word form error, okay? So this is a noun. I need you to convert it to an adjective. No. This is a noun. I need to convert it to a verb. Verb. What's the verb of belief? Rena says believe. Okay, Rena, you're correct. Okay, believe it or not. Okay. Now he has applied to stay in the countryside until the pandemic is over. Mhm. Until the pandemic is over. Until, okay. I will not accept a wrong answer for this number. This one is very easy. Until very quickly. Let me zoom it out because I think you're all not seeing all the words. Until. How to spell until? Everyone, 5 seconds. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. Until the pandemic is over. Lika, I need you to give it one more try. I need you to cancel one of the letters inside. Just one of the letters. You also, Aizena. Oh my goodness, I thought this was an easy word to spell. Okay. Until only one L, huh? Okay. Oh, that's probably why they chose to test this word. Now, moving on. Accidentally put 2L. Yes, no problem. Now, Kim can discover nature at many ways. You don't say at many ways. You say what? You say tuition gave you trauma. Why? Why the trauma? It's me edits. What's the right preposition here? Ozo goes for through. Anyone else wants to agree with Ozo's answer or give a different one? Sorry. From many ways. So we have through, we have from. Who else? About 10 more seconds because I know there's a lot of prepositions. Yeah. Don't get confused. With many ways. So we have through, we have from, we have with. Okay. 5 more seconds. Maybe one of you wants to give one last try. Okay, everyone. I didn't actually get the right answer. Part-time dopamine. Hi, you are correct. It should be in many ways, yeah? Nature in many ways, which he finds fascinating. Okay, fascinating is spelled wrongly. So who can spell fascinating for me? Let's go, people. Fascinating. Somehow, when this word is spelled by students, you always drop that one letter. Okay, Eisen added the letter S. Oh, you added the letter C. Do you guys agree with Eisen's spelling of the word fascinating? I'm gonna put Ronnie here to kind of like just look at all of you as well. Okay, fascinating. Rena agreed. You are both correct. Well done. So fascinating is SC. Fascinating. Keep the word form. Good job. Now I can play with my friends and be fully immersed in the learning despite the pandemic. Immersed. How do you spell immersed? Keep it past tense as well. You're only correcting the spelling, so keep the word form. I can play with my friends and be fully immersed in the learning despite the pandemic, Kim said. Recently, I harvested some sweet potatoes. What a lot of fun. Last number, everyone, be strong. Immersed. Okay, Serena is trying to do I first. You kept the double M, I see. Do you want to agree with Rena's spelling or do you want to try a different spelling? I'll give you guys about 10 more seconds for this. Try. Okay. Now, welcome to those of you who just joined the live. Rena, you are actually correct. Very good. Immer starts with I. Double M. And of course, keep it past tense. Very good. So that's correct. Well done. Eisen as well. Very good. Okay, everyone. Good job. That was an easy start, right? But be very careful, yeah, when you are correcting the grammar and the spelling error. Now let's move up the notch a bit and let's do a comprehension close passage. You all strong enough for this, yeah? Let's go. Now, letting go of your first love is hard. Interesting. However, blank happens when our first soft and huggable toy becomes lumpy and gray. Remember, it's a question. Your first clue here is that it's a question mark in the end. However, blank happens when our first soft and huggable toy becomes lumpy and gray. Now, there is a quick connection between the first and the second sentence. Remember, it's a question. It's a question, everyone. So that means to say we start with a question word, correct? Jagu. Yes, thank you. Ozo, thank you. What happens when our first soft and huggable toy becomes lumpy and gray? That's the question. Childhood plushies carry years of memories that make it hard for owners to blank with them. The word pairs with the word with. And then contextually, you have to understand what the first sentence actually meant, okay? So if it's hard to let go, that basically means to say that owners that make it hard for owners to blank with them. Mochi is sad. Mochi is always sad. Yes, also. Okay. Eyes and ghost with part with. Very good. To part with them. Good job. To preserve them. Soft toy hospitals were founded. Wow. They are businesses that offer soft toy repair services. Blank, it is a broken nose or a missing tail. The doctors will fix them without losing too much. Now, blank, it is a broken nose or a missing tail. Now, or. You see. Weather, very good. It's partner of or here. Whether it's a broken nose or a missing tail, the doctors will fix them without losing too much of their blank form. Of their what form? Sure, Jamie scolded mother. She did not know. Okay. Next number. This one is easy. Of their what form? Strawberry, strawberry, strawberry says original form. Do you agree with three strawberries answer? I'm gonna call you three strawberry. Okay, Eisen and Ozil agrees. You are all correct. So they try to fix the problem without changing the original form too much, right? So that's very good of the doctors. Now, this includes bathing the. Highlight that. This includes bathing the patient in organic detergents so it does not get damaged. At SG Soft Toy Hospital, Lynn is an blank of such a doctor. Now, Lynn is an, so you have a very big clue here. An is followed by a word whose sound, whose sound starts with a vowel. What do you think? If you want further clues, if you're unsure what to do with 55, you can continue reading the next sentence. Trust her to blank these cuddly toys a brand new look. Okay, you're getting the message. Aizen and Jagu, you're not giving me the right word, but you are in the right track to getting the correct word. Okay? O and L, very good, is an example. Very good. Of such a doctor. Trust her to blank these cuddly toys a brand new look. What these toys a brand new look? Now, be very careful with the choice of the verb that you're giving, Make sure it fits grammatically inside, okay? It has to be trust her to give these toys a brand new look. Has to be the word give. Okay, let's move on. During admission, it's so funny because the whole premise is like it's a real hospital for the toys. Lynn makes it a blank to speak to the owners. Makes it a what? This one is a collocation. This is a phrase, words that go together all the time. How do you say it? When you give your attention to someone to make sure that it happens, okay? Makes it a, makes it a point, everyone. Makes it a point. When you make it a point to do something, that means to say, you make sure that it happens. So that means to say, the line they want to say here, Lynn always makes sure that she gets to talk to the owners first. So she makes it a point to speak to the owners, okay? Then she gives the toys treatment to get blank of germs. To get what of germs? Another collocation. What do you want to do with germs? You want to get what of them? Very good. I'm seeing the right answers, everyone. Get rid of germs. Okay. Now, next, she washes and dries the toys, blank stitching and restuffing them. So I think you notice in the passage is not the part where they are step by step talking about what she does, in the whole process of fixing the toy. Okay, so first she gets rid of the germs, then she what, and then she what. So think about the proper order here. Okay, Eisen, O and L, one before, one and one after. Listen carefully. Okay, there's washing and the drying, and then stitching and restuffing, right? So first you wash it and you dry it. Okay, and then you stitch and restuff it. So it has to be before stitching and restuffing them. Okay, when they are ready to be blank, she will send the owners videos and photographs to make sure that everything okay. When they are ready to be what? Remember, remember, the whole premise here is that they're a hospital. I'm giving you a proper clue. The way they are talking about the whole process is like, it feels like they are in a hospital, right? During admission and so on. So if the toy is the patient and the patient is now officially healed, that patient is ready to be what? Very good. Thank you. And this is the reason why it's important that you are aware of of what the passage is about, and so that your brain thinks about the vocabulary it needs depending on what the theme is. The theme is on hospital, taking care of toys. So we need hospital terms. It has to be discharged. Okay. Now, when they are ready to be discharged, she will send the owners videos and photographs to make sure that everything is fine prior to blank the toys home. Prior to what? The toys home? Right. Then because it's a toy, right? It's a toy, they can just blank them home. Sending, very good. Well done, well done. You are understanding the whole point of the passage here. Yes. The smiles on the customers' faces, blank Lynn going in this trade. I tell you something, it pairs with the word going. That's your clue. Blank going. This is what makes her stay in this business, in this trade, okay? Because, of the happiness that she actually brings to the owners of the toys. Blank going. What is the good word to pair going with here? To put together that collocation, that phrase that's commonly used. Think about it. Ooh, interesting. Idayu is male. I'm so sorry if I'm not pronouncing your name correctly. You are correct. Faces keep Lynn going in this trade. So be very careful. Look out for clues like this. Sometimes it will not sound too obvious immediately, but that's why sometimes I tell my students, feel free to reread the sentence. It might just click after that rereading. Okay. Lynn also partners Mandai Wildlife conservation to upcycle soft toys. Okay. She blanked the toys that are then sold. What? She what's the toys? What am I doing? Hello, the honored one. No, she doesn't create the toy. Remember that the yes, correct. She sews the toys that are then sold. The proceeds are blank to the conservation. Are what? You know, when you give something out of goodwill without asking for anything in return. Very good. RJ Cancino donated to the conservation. It is her blank of giving back to the society. The bond that is developed with a soft toy helps the child learn and grow while having fun, said Lynn. It is blank way of giving back. It is her way, very good, of giving back. Well done, ladies and gentlemen. You all did very well. Ah, you made it through. It seems like you all made it look like the comprehension close is a very easy passage. Interesting. Good job. Let's see. Let's move on to synthesis and transformation and challenge yourself, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see. Now, let's see if you can put together one proper sentence without changing the meaning of the actual question. Okay? That's the point of synthesis and transformation. The athlete completed the race. The athlete did it in less than 3 minutes. This one will start easy. Yeah, this question is actually easy. So cold. My goodness. This room's so cold. Okay, now give this one a try. Let's go, people. Okay, Idayu said the athlete was able to complete the race in less than 3 minutes. I see, that was quick. Y'all want to agree with Idayu's answer? You have a different one. I'll give you about 10 more seconds, people. Let's go. Let's go. Welcome to those of you who's just joined the live. Able to complete the race in less than 3 minutes. Okay, you both have the same answer. Congratulations. You started off very well. Well done. Was able to complete the race in less than 3 minutes. Good job. Now, next number. Challenge yourself. Nora received a letter for the EduSave Award. Nora jumped for joy. Remember, if you start with the word upon, it is followed by what form of the verb. Be careful. That's just the only part I need you to be mindful of. You should be able to get actually all the rest of them. Just be careful with what comes after the word upon. And you should be okay with this number. Quite easy, no? Number 67, right? Not too hard, not too hard. Let's go. Upon receiving a letter for the EduSave Award, Nora jumped for joy. Okay, Q9988. Very good. That's just for me the most crucial part. Instead of received from the original sentence, it will be turned into receiving. A letter for the EduSave Award. Nora jumped for joy. Good job, ladies and gentlemen. Now, number 68. The lioness teaches the cubs how to hunt for food. Now, this is active to passive voice. Give this one a try. Be careful with the tense. One thing I always remind my students for active to passive, tense, ladies and gentlemen, be careful. Hi, Cheyenne. Welcome back to you, and thank you for giving your answer. Who's Bira, Cheyenne? How come suddenly Nora becomes Bira? Is this on purpose? Or... Nora. Okay. Okay, everyone, type in your answer for number 68. Let's go, people. Accidentally, it's fine. All right, people. Number 68. Let's go. Let's go. After this section, we will proceed to do an oral drill. And for today, the theme is digital citizenship. Okay, Idaya says the cubs was taught by the lioness to hunt for food. I see. Cheyenne goes, the cubs were taught by the lioness on how to hunt for food. Nisa goes, we're taught how to hunt for food. Okay. Now, first things first, I'm gonna start with breaking down the usual process I teach my students when doing active to passive voice. Yeah. So especially when you turn it into passive voice, the tense, let me clarify the tense once and for all, because this is usually what's causing the confusion. The tense is always a pairing. It's a pairing of to be verb. Do you know what are to be verbs? To be verbs are like is, are, was, were, being, you know, been, were being, was being, you know. And then the second one is a past participle of the original verb. So it's always a past participle. So what you can do is from the teachers, right? Oh, teachers, I already know. The past participle of teachers is taught, right? Taught. Okay. Now, the only challenge for you is, sure, which to be verb should I use? I always tell my students, go back to the original verb and check the tense of the original verb. Teaches is in present tense, correct? So that tells you that the to be verb you are using is also the present tense, which means to say you are supposed to say the cubs are. Okay? So this one for me is very important. This is like the formula I tell my students. So when you are figuring out the tense, two things. It's always a pair of a to be verb and a past participle. Past participle, you should be okay. But the to be verb, how to figure out what to be verb to use is our was, were, was being, were being, right? Is to check the original tense. The original tense is teaches. It's in present tense. Therefore, you follow that tense for the to be verb, which is also the present one. So we say are because the cubs is plural. Okay? So the cubs are taught how to hunt for food by the lioness. Okay, we're clear with that, everyone? This one quite crucial, huh? Because active to passive voice is a commonly tested question for synthesis and transformation. Okay, now let's move on to the next number 69. Did you pay $40 for this set of stationery? Andy asked me. Direct speech to reported speech. You also know this is a very commonly tested one. Give this one a try. Let's go. Tens, huh? Tens. Pronouns. Time. Place or proximity. These are all the things you need to update if they're all present in the direct speech. Okay, metallic gray goes for Andy asked May if she paid $40 for that set of stationery. I see. Thank you, metallic gray. Anyone who wants to give this one a try as well, let's go. I'll give you about 15 more seconds before we break down the correct answer. Let's go, people. If he had paid $40 for that set of stationery, ask May if she had paid $40 for that set of stationery. I see. Okay. Okay, we have a very complete correct answer from Cheyenne. Very good. So first things first, I'm going to erase the notes in number 68. So if you wish to take a screenshot of number 68, do it now. If not, I'm going to erase it already. Yeah. Okay. So Remember, my usual rule for you for direct speech to reported speech, especially for tense, is move one tense backward. If it's present tense, go past tense. If it's past tense, go past perfect. If it's past perfect, stay in past perfect. And an exception to this rule is that if the direct speech is a universal truth, the tense doesn't change. Okay? Now, did you pay is past because the word did, right? Therefore, it's already in past tense. We go past perfect. Then you have to use your had, correct? So Andy asked May, since this is a question, we have to put if, okay? And then he's asking May, so it's a she. She had paid $40 for, then, you know, this becomes what? You know that it becomes that, right? For that set of stationery. Okay, we clear, everyone? And be careful of your spelling of stationery. It's an E. There's a difference between stationery with an E. E is like all those writing materials. A, stationary A is like you're staying put. You're not moving around. Okay? So, last number for synthesis and transformation, strong people, before we proceed to our oral discussion. My brother enjoys swimming. However, my brother enjoys hiking more. Be careful. Drop in your answer for this one, please. Let's go. All right, everyone. Oh, thank you for the follow. Let's go, everyone. Come on, come on, come on. Okay. Casper said, my brother finds hiking more enjoyable than swimming. Anyone wants to give Casper a thumbs up for his answer? Do you agree with his answer, or do you want to try a different way to do it? My brother finds hiking more enjoyable than swimming. So Eisen agrees. Sharky Boy, Metallic Gray. I see. Metallic Gray has a different way to say it. My brother finds hiking more enjoyable than swimming. Okay, so the correct answer is my brother finds hiking more enjoyable than swimming. All right, it's a better synthesized version. Okay, good job, everyone. Well done. So you have just braved 3 sections of paper 2, editing, compre-close, and synthesis and transformation. What we are going to do now is we are going to move on to oral questions. So for oral questions, I'm going to deal with today, let's talk about digital citizenship. What we've been doing the past few days is that we tackle different commonly tested oral themes and we break down a few questions. On top of breaking down the question, it's important that we talk about different points of view and how to answer that question. So you grow your content knowledge and you also learn from each other as well. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do today. Let's move on to oral. Welcome to those of you who just joined the live. To those of you who are not aware, we are currently running a promotion here in Writers at Work. So if you sign up for 12 lessons now, you get 2 lessons for free additionally. We are running this up until the end of August. So 31st August, please join us here for our regular programs. We have comprehensive English programs where we help you prepare for paper 1, paper 2, and paper 4. Okay, that's your writing component, language use component, and your oral component. For upper primary students, P4 to P6, we also have pure composition writing programs. So if you're looking for that more targeted practice with a trained and experienced Writers at Work teacher, you feel free to join us here at Writers at Work. Now, for today, I would like to explore this commonly tested theme on digital citizenship. Okay, let's explore a couple of questions. Try to type in your answers, and then let's break down if this is the best angle you can use, and if there are other additional ideas that you can actually share or learn from someone here online or from me, such that you grow your content knowledge on this question. Let's start with, because I have a couple of questions prepared. Now, I'm gonna start with this one because this one is important, especially that all of you are right now using TikTok, which is one of the many social media platforms. So this one is highly, okay? It's highly important that you actually know how to answer questions like this, especially for social media use. What are the different ways for you to be a responsible social media user as a student? Okay, drop in at least a couple of ideas. If you have one, drop it in. Let's put it all together and create a solid answer for this question. Now, what? Okay, I know some of you are thinking for now, right? But first things first, let's define what social media is, right? Because a lot of you like to use it, but it's good that we have a proper definition of this, right? Social media is, okay, can be websites, okay? Websites or computer programs. That, okay, here's the catch. It allow people to communicate. And share information. So it could be messages, it could be videos, pictures, etc. On the internet, especially social networking website. Okay, so social media, what counts as social media? So then you have to think about those websites and programs and apps that allows you to communicate with each other. So it could be the channel that you have in school. It could be TikTok that you're using now. It could be Facebook, Instagram, correct? Now, so from that angle, I need you to start thinking of the many ways that you can do it. It's very important that you learn to break your question properly, right? So you don't end up misinterpreting the question. Okay, Eisen goes age appropriate. What do you mean, Eisen? Are you asking me a question? Now, you have an e-channel in schools, right? That one is also considered social media, correct? So, what are the things that you can do to be a responsible user? Most especially that now we are in a live session, and so you are indeed using an actual social media channel at the moment. What are the ways that you can actually indicate for you to talk about being a responsible social media user? Drop it in, everyone. Let's give it a try. There's some very okay. I'm gonna gather a few ideas from you, but let's choose 3 very solid ones that you can actually point out, and then start exercising, and then use it for your oral answer as well. Aizen, I don't know. You're not sure how to be a responsible social media user, huh? Is it? Okay. For example, just think about the live session now. Okay, if we want to keep this live session a safe space for everyone to learn, you've all actually been following something very good. There is a behavior that you've been doing that makes this live session a safe space for people to learn. What is that? Okay, I'm gonna start discussing a few things to help you all start thinking. I think follow the rules. I like that, Isaac. That is actually correct. Okay, so I'm definitely pointing that out first. So you respect. Okay, you respect the policies. The policies. You respect the policy. So for example, you don't use, okay, don't use harsh language. Language. Okay. You are being polite. Okay. And then you use it you use it for its own usage lah. Okay. So that's one thing. Now, I would assume because all of you are able to join my live, you have your own TikTok account. So you have the freedom to post things. Okay. Now, from that angle, Eisen, what must you do before posting anything, before releasing anything to the whole big world of internet? That one is important. Make sure to never use bad language in social media. Yes, Cheyenne. Agree. Don't use harsh language. Okay. Okay. Don't use, okay, this is harsh or disrespectful language. Here's one thing, you all have accounts, so you all can technically post something. You can post a video, you can post a picture, you can post a text. What must you do before posting anything? Check if it is appropriate. Thank you. Okay. Yeah. Check. So before posting anything, first things first, check the facts. You cannot be someone who disseminates false information. That is not good. Okay. Now check if it's true. Check if it's appropriate. And then check if it's what? Also kind. Okay. This is actually very similar. This is very similar to the rule I always say in class when I start my lesson with my students and when a year starts out, right? I always tell my students and I tell them use the same rule before you post in social media. I tell them exactly the same thing before you open your mouth in my class. I always tell them, ask yourself, before you say it, ask yourself, is this kind? Is this true? Is this helpful? Okay? Because then when you ask yourself those questions, you know that you are being responsible for what comes out of your mouth. It's the same thing for you, for what comes out of your posts and accounts. Do the same thing. Check facts, check appropriateness, check if it's like hurting so many people. Okay, so this one is something very important that you can definitely consider. Okay, now there's a few more things because some of you are very much aware of this, like you can perhaps say this, but one thing's for sure, there will always still be people who will be posting things like this. What do you do as a responsible social media users? What if you see someone posting a fake news? Okay, what if you see someone posting a fake news? What if you see someone cyberbullying someone? What must you do? Okay, so now you're taking action on things that you may potentially see in the social media accounts that you think is wrong. Okay, what can you do with that? You see inappropriate content, you see false information. What do you do with that thing that you see? Do you just let it pass? What do you do? Right. So this is another way to say it. I advocate to mutual respect to others in social media, not to involve our personal details. Thank you, Cheyenne. That is very important because digital footprint is real. Okay. I need you all to safeguard all your personal information, even in private messages. Okay. This one, oral examination aside, we are living in a digital world, and you'll be most likely, a lot of you will be using social media. For me, really protect yourself by making sure you are mindful of what you say, both in a public post and in a private message. Why? Some people may still screenshot your message and then release it out to the world. Okay? So it's like how, but like it's very different from it's like a real world gossip, right? Because I just go and say, hello, Cheyenne, you know Cheyenne, huh? I don't like Eisen, but don't tell Eisen. So when Cheyenne goes to Eisen will not believe you unless, of course, he gets a proof. But that's the problem with even private messages. People may still, steal the phone of that person you're messaging with and then take a screenshot of these things. So I need you to be very careful with whatever you put out, be it something you put out for public view or for private messaging. This is very important. Mhm. Hello, Islam. Welcome to the live. Mhm. So, yes, that's one very important thing. Report spammers. Thank you. So, it's very important as well that when you see inappropriate behavior online, you take action. Okay, that's one additional thing. Now, when examiners hear you say that, they will see another layer of maturity from your response. Because this time around, you are talking about you not doing inappropriate behavior online, but also you taking action when you see inappropriate behavior online. That's being responsible user, right? So you also report inappropriate content. It could be to a lot of social media channels now do have that option for you to report it. At the same time, if you're actually not sure, and it's an urgent situation, report it to an adult who can do something about it. Okay. The most important thing is report it to someone who can really do something about it. Now, also be very careful. So make sure there's a moderator in every live. I know. So I thank you all so much for keeping this live session a safe space. Okay, making it at least easier for our moderators to keep these a safe space for all of you. Yeah. Now, so what you see on top right are points about things that what you can do when you see an appropriate post as well. That's part of being a responsible user. So you can report inappropriate content and at the same time, okay, to protect yourself from people who intend to really, some people are just like that. They intend to harm you either in a cyber in online or in real life. It's very important that you accept, be careful with this. Accept chat invites only from known friends if you know the person and if you've known the person personally already from known friends. It limits unwanted interactions. Okay, be very careful with invites that you accept online. Okay, that's very important. Okay, now, and overall, I'm gonna add one last thing here before we proceed to a different question. You all currently have social media accounts, correct? You're all gonna be putting out content one way or another. Some of you are just consuming content, but some of you will eventually create content. It's important that you maintain a positive online identity. Okay? Maintain. Okay. A positive online identity. Okay, only TikTok, I see. But I'm happy that you're also using it in a good way. Okay, joining this live, for example, gets you to learn. Okay, but for example, you may actually encounter other live sessions that have inappropriate content. So it's important that you take action, right? So that's part of being a responsible social media user. Okay, and it's something that you can do, even with your young age. Okay, so that's a good one. Everyone, let's do a quick recap before we move on to another question. So when you're talking about being responsible social media users, you can tackle it in three different angles. You can tackle it in the first angle wherein how do you handle things that you produce online? Okay, you as the one who creates the content, talk about that. So you go and say, hey, I remember to make sure that before I post anything, whether it's a video, picture, or it's a text, I make sure that I fact check. I make sure that it's kind. I make sure that it's appropriate as well. So in an angle of you being the content creator, okay, you can also attack it. You can also attack it in an angle where you protect yourself. You protect yourself from, online monsters, okay, in such a way that you are careful about accepting invitations. You are careful about who you follow. You are careful about who you invite as friends, okay? And finally, you can also attack it in an angle wherein when you yourself see inappropriate content online, what must you do? Okay, so because I always tell you I believe in the power of three. Like talk about three solid ideas and then expound them one by one. Okay, if you want to change that third one, you can also focus on how you are able to contribute to a safe space online, making sure that you don't use harsh language and so on. So these are three good ideas that you can angle yourself with. Okay, what do you do as a content creator, as someone who's able to post? What must you do before posting? Fact check. Am I, is this kind? Is this true? Is this correct? Is this appropriate? Once you've answered all those questions, then post. Number two, when I see inappropriate content, I do something about it. And number three, I protect myself from inappropriate content, social media users by making sure you're being careful about who you accept as friends, which chat invitations you accept as well. Okay? So these are three very solid angles you can look at when talking about being a responsible social media user. Okay? Now, let's explore a different question this time. Okay? Now, let's talk about screen time. This one important because you all are also in the live session. So I would assume perhaps a lot of you have your own phones, correct? Or if you don't have your own phone or your own device, you get some level of time to use your parents' devices, correct? So now it's important that you actually know how much time you spend with your phone, because you're probably unaware of that, and I can tell you it's a lot. Okay, it doesn't matter if you're playing, if you're using social media, if you're watching a live session, or if you're just scrolling nonstop. That's screen time. As long as you're facing the screen and you're using the device, that's screen time. Do you actually know how to check your screen time, everyone? Are you all aware how to do that? Mm-hmm. Everyone, do you know how to actually, okay, study on computer for 30 minutes, take rest for 5 minutes. Example, look for. Aizen, what you're trying to, I like the idea that you are just sharing here. You are talking about taking screen breaks. I like that. Let's name that properly so at least you can explain this properly when you provide this answer. Taking screen breaks. So, healthy device routines would mean to say if you've noticed you've been using it for 30 minutes straight now, close it, look far, look at a greenery, or do something else that does not involve a screen. Okay, so that's something. Do not always spend time on screen. Why not go outdoors for a walk and even do sports? I like that. So Cheyenne, you're attacking it in a way wherein you are giving suggestions on what to do instead, correct? So what you can do is like, but do keep in mind, yeah, maximum is half an hour. So do keep in mind the question, it's very important that you understand the question, balance screen time with outdoor activities. So you also have to talk about you're balancing screen time while also doing outdoor activities. So you have to phrase your answer correctly such that it attacks the how the question is being phrased. Okay. So for example, you can do uh fast hours, as in you do this activity and then you do that activity instead, right? So instead of like taking on to play badminton on Saturdays, maximum half an hour. Okay, very good. Yeah. So schedule, I like I'm taking you answer. I'm taking your answer, Cheyenne. Schedule outdoor activities and no screen time sections of your day. So for example, I'll tell you what I mean. So when it's scheduled, it gets done. Trust me. Things have higher chances of being done, especially when they're planned out and scheduled. So that's why if you really want to balance screen time and outdoors, schedule the outdoor activity. Okay. And how long does it take and what that activity is. Okay. Now, what I mean by no screen time sections of the day, there are important sections of the day where it's important that you really make sure like this time of the day I don't do it. one important part of no screen time is specifically that hour before you go to sleep. Okay, there's this blue light from the screen that actually makes it slightly longer for you to start falling asleep. So that's why it's important that you give yourself at least like 1 hour of no more screen before you go to sleep. It makes it actually easier for your body to tune into that sleeping mode, for example. So um, you can do that. You can do that as a good way to um, balance out outdoor activities and screen time as well. So um, one thing, this is one is high level. Use the device when you eat, and after that, your homework. Okay, so Islam, what you're trying to say is, hello, Dora the Explorer, welcome back. Islam, what you're trying to say is, you're basically being mindful of when you intend to use the screen. So that's good. Because it could be the other way around. If you choose to kind of like, if you're on your own eating Islam, then use your device, can, and then make sure that when you do your homework, you don't use it. But do keep in mind, when you're eating with someone or with family, it's best to be eating, to be present, and not use your screens at all, yeah? So be careful with that. Okay. Like afternoon, go to the park or spend time with family instead of screen time. Ash. Hi, Ash. Hi, Ash. Welcome back to you. Yes, very good. One more thing. I know some of you are still going to be tempted. You go and say, my God, I do outdoor activities, but then outdoor still like hiking, huh? Hiking, but still facing the phone, right? So, one good thing you can do is to actually set, I don't know if you're doing this. I am actually currently doing it with my phone. I actually set a screen timer. I set an app limit to my phone. Set limits or timers in the phone. Do you know you can do that, everyone? So if you go to the settings of your phone, you type in screen time. Inside that section, you can see that there are some modifications that you can do wherein you can set a time limit. So for example, if you check your screen time, your phone could also actually tell you which apps do you spend the most time with. Okay. What happens now is that because you have your phone all the time with you, it becomes almost like a muscle memory. Sometimes you just immediately click without even planning to open an app. Your hands just immediately opens, right? And so there you go, the distraction is already there. And then doom scrolling, right? So you can go to screen time and actually you will see your phone will tell you which apps you use the most and you spend most time with. And then what you can do is set an app time limit for all those apps. So when you reach that time limit, the app will already, you can no longer open the app. Of course, you can override it, but adding a friction in between makes it less likely for you to get distracted by that app. So, but for little kids will be hard. Of course lah, but the question would be from your perspective as a student. How can you'd be answering this oral question from your perspective, correct? Of course, that's a problem for parents with young kids. That parents have that problem, but for you who's fully aware and who most likely have your own device, this is you have to attack the question as if the question is being asked on you. So you have to answer it from that perspective. Okay. So it's a very strong answer. You have to set limits and timers in the phone because that is available in actually literally almost all phones now. Can then schedule outdoor activities, no screen time sections of your day, take in screen breaks, and you can even connect this with family, right? Because this is a theme that may overlap with family and hobbies and sports and health. Okay. So even when we are in a digital citizenship theme at the moment, this is something that can connect very easily to other themes. So that's why, for example, the thing that I always tell my student, I have a student who always uses his Saturday biking at East Coast Park for health theme, for family theme. He used it for family theme and he also used it for environment theme because bikes are environment friendly, right? Then you start to realize that that same example can be used for also digital citizenship theme in terms of making sure that you balance out outdoor activities with screen time as well. Okay, so these are things that you can do. Okay, 3 solid things. It's very important that we explore these things. Let's discover another question. This is the only question that social media is not useful. This is the only question. Ha, that social media is not useful, is it? Parents take charge of kids' phone to a certain age. Also, if you are all interested, there's a lot of things that the government actually produces, um, to guidelines. They have even given a guideline to parents on most likely what age should students or should children be given a phone, and like what's the level of access they have. How can parents make sure they can, they can balance out a healthy usage of the device and at which age. So there are things that the government actually provides to help families and parents in this time we're in. Students actually, it becomes a younger, you actually get access to phone younger and younger these days. I had access to phone only when I was what, a very old version. It's not even a touch screen, but I was only given an access when I was secondary one, only because I was further away from home. The school is further away from home, so my mom was slightly worried about me traveling on my own, so she wanted me to have a phone. But I do have P3 students who already has phone, so that is something that's important for parents to take note of. Okay, let's explore a different question, everyone. So we have three solid answers for this one. Important for you to take note of your screen time. Awareness is important. Number two, setting the limits for yourself, especially for the ones that you use the most. Number three, taking intentional breaks. Number four, taking intentional plans to do no screen time activities, as in sports, outdoors, hiking, cycling. And number four, be present when you are in a situation wherein you are dealing and connecting with people. Don't use the screen. Okay, be respectful. Mhm. P3 having phone is concerning. I know, but I do have students who have phones at that very young age. Yeah. So now let's talk about this one. What do you think can be done to prevent cyberbullying among students? Think very carefully, because cyberbullying is also something that you can talk about or that can be asked of you for oral, and even for composition or essay question. This is a topic that may come out. Okay, so it's important to consider what are the angles that you can use for this one. Now, what do you think? Younger students get little screen time to reduce cyberbullying. I see. So from your angle, also, you are looking at it on the perspective of controlling their access to a device where cyberbullying happens, correct? So if I were to do an analogy of that one, let's say for example, um, the question is, how can we prevent kids? How can we prevent robbery? Then, if you're suggesting that if robbery happens in this place a lot, you're preventing the child from going to that place, correct? Okay, so that is definitely one angle that you can look at. Okay, parents control their social media access until a specific age. I see. Don't even allow them to have a phone. Not Eisen, that's not a very practical, completely saying that never to allow them to allow anyone to have a phone. It's not a practical answer, because phones will come in very handy. Phones have their own useful usage. Phones are for parents, have their very important reasons as well why they provide phones for the kids, because the phones can be a tracker. So in case, knock on wood, kidnapping may happen, the phone at least serves as a guide to find the child for cases like that. Or the child wants to immediately report anything important to the parents using the phone. So it's pretty strong, and you may not want to really say don't give them phones at all. Okay. Okay, talk about specific limitations instead, correct? Okay, so what can be done? There's a couple of ways, right? There's a couple of things that can be done for cyberbullying. What can be done? Keep in mind, what can be done is, it doesn't say what can you do, right? It just says what can be done. So it could be something that schools can do, it could be something that parents can do, it could be something that students can do, it could be something that you can do. Okay, so it's very important that you really understand how the question is given to you, because the moment they said what can be done, you have so many options, because it didn't necessarily say what can you do, right? It's just says what can be done. Like, so literally you have everyone involved. What can everyone literally do? Okay, so for example, if we look at it from very good Ryan and very good also, okay, let's talk about awareness, let's talk about education, because for me this is the most important thing. One very big point you can always use in almost all kinds of social problems is education. This is very important. So if you talk about cyberbullying, if you talk about mental health problems, if you talk about like any issue, it always starts with making sure we educate everyone. So this is one point, right, that you can always reuse for environmental problems, correct? For mental health problems, for cyberbullying problems. Very solid thing that you can use, but only if you can explain it very well. Okay? Because educating people means, for example, let's say MOE's cyber wellness, okay? MOE cyber wellness campaign, right? Include like role play to build empathy and responsible digital behavior, like that, okay? Um, Now, making sure education, MOE cyber wellness, and then they also make sure that counselors in your school, right? Counselors receive MOE training, proper training to ensure that you can be helped. Whenever you need the help, the counselors can give you the help that you need. Okay? Proper training to identify cyberbullying and intervene when needed. Okay? Early cases, even. Okay? Now, so this is from the government side, right? Education has to happen from the school, from the government, correct? Okay. Even like so educating people is very important. Okay. Now, what else? What else? What else can we do? Okay. So in the case of like parents, right? Just don't use social media. And the teachers in school can talk to students about cyberbullying, correct? Assembly talks, correct? So counselors, like talks, seminars, okay, um, and posters. But remember, every single student will most likely mention that, okay? What you want to show is some level of depth and content in your answer, because you are always given talks, you are always given assemblies where they bring in speakers, right? The question is, what do you do with the information that you learn from these initiatives that the school is providing you, that the government is providing? Because you see, right, despite the talks that you attend, despite there are still people who do the cyberbullying, there are still bullies out there. So other than education, you have to move forward. Like, what do you do as a responsible? It's exactly the same thing earlier, which is something I needed to be mindful of. Remember earlier about being a responsible social media user? On top of you being responsible of what you're posting, and on top of you being um what was it, responsible for what you're posting and making sure you ask yourself these questions, there was one thing I added which is also applicable here, wherein you take action when you see inappropriate behavior online. This is connected as well. You can do it. What can be done to prevent cyberbullying? It means to say, remember, I don't know if you're familiar with this line wherein um, um, bad things, I don't know if the what's the exact line, but bad things happen when good people do nothing. Okay, so when you notice it happening, take action. That's very important. Okay, report. Make sure you let people who can do something about it know. Okay. Report misconduct. And then parents, for example, parents monitor devices and guide safe online conducts. education can also happen definitely from home and from school. So parents can do the educating as well, online conduct. So parents can do something, schools and government can do something, you can do something. So you can tackle it in that way, especially if the question is phrased like this, that what can be done. When the question does not specify who's doing, then you can tackle it. Your power of three can be targeted that way. Like if I start with myself, you go and say that, right? What can I do to prevent cyberbullying among students is to make sure, of course, I pay close attention to when these cyberbullying happen, even the smallest microaggressions, even the earliest signs of bullying. I will make sure I take action, report it to the right, to report it to the authorities, or the people who can do something about it. Okay, so that I don't. And number two, I don't become the bully myself. Right? You pay attention to your own actions. Then you can proceed to schools can also do something about it. Institutions that has power and that has like the platform to talk about these things to the students. So schools can also make sure they have very strong educational campaign on cyberbullying. Then talk. And then education can also start at home. Parents can do this, Okay, so you can attack it as in what are the institutions and where can the education come from? Okay, especially that the question is done this way. Okay. All right, everyone. So we have discussed a couple of things today. One just very important takeaway. There are definitely concepts that can be reused every single time. And then all you have to do is to specify an example. So for example, the concept of education, like it's important that education starts, right? That can be used in many different types of social issues that's thrown at you, whatever the social issue is. Okay. Secondly, the way you present it, the way you present it as starting with myself and then go bigger, right? And then at home, and then at school, and in the community, you can follow that kind of train of thought. Again, the power of three solid points, present it one at a time, elaborate it properly one at a time, calm down, say it nicely and properly. Um, don't talk too fast because you can still continue thinking while you're talking. Okay, so these are things that you can do. Whenever cyberbullying is seen, we can either tell the person to stop or report it to the police. Correct, as long as you always make sure you do something about it. Okay, yeah. So everyone, I would like to thank you all for joining my live session today. If you have not followed us yet, please do so we can have more live sessions together. Share our account, click that notification bell so you get notified when we go live as well. And one final thing, Writers at Work is currently running a promotion. So if you're looking for a more targeted way to revise for English examinations or start a revision for an examination that you're preparing in the future, you can join us now. We have a 12+2 promotion ongoing. So if you sign up for 12 lessons, you get 2 lessons for free. Sure, when is the next live? I do have a live session tomorrow at 5:30 as well, Eisen. So hopefully I see you again tomorrow. And to those secondary students who are currently in the live, all the best on your upcoming O-level orals. If you have not done it yet, we will continue. If you have not noticed, if you are noticing, actually, we are putting out O-level oral questions every day and even model responses. This is for all of you secondary students who are revising for waiting for your turn for O-levels, but also for those who are taking O-levels but then your day has not come yet, so you're still revising and you're predicting the upcoming questions. So all the best to all of you, everyone. I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.